Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for clicking on this video. I love it when Tesla accessory companies listen to our feedback and they incorporate those feedback into their design. We have seen that evident many times in the channel where we say something in the comment section or within the video and they make that happen. And this is exactly what happened with this new rear screen that was based on the feedback on the last rear screen that I reviewed. And if you're one of those people that are just already hating on the video because there is a new rear screen that came out, I feel your pain, but if you just are done with the rear screens and you don't want to see any more of it, then I don't want to waste your time. This video is not for you. For those of you who want to see the iterative process, please follow along. I greatly appreciate your support. There's a company called Test Studio based in California. They reached out to me. I've never heard of the company before. They reached out to me last week and said, hey, there's this new rear screen that we have, but it's not just another rear screen. We wanted to incorporate your feedback from the last video that you did about a rear screen. And we have incorporated all of that through software. Is it okay if we send you that rear screen for your evaluation in the channel? And I said, that sounds great if you incorporated those feedback. So a couple of things that they added directly based on what I said on my last video. First of all, they added a child lock with a PIN code. That has been a big ask in the channel about, you don't want children in the back messing with some of the settings if you don't want those settings to be toggled, and not just something that you just toggle on and off, but something that requires a passcode PIN code, and they added that. So there is a child lock with the PIN code in there. Without it, the screen just freezes and you just set it to some temperatures and then you just put that lock and they can't mess with the settings there. So that is great. Another thing that they added directly, again, based on the feedback that I had on the last video, was if somebody is not sitting in the rear seat at all, then there is no point on this display becoming available and just showing up, and sometimes it's really bright. And that was something that I told them on the last video was, hey, look, if there was nobody sitting on the back, just make the display go offline, turn it off after a certain time. And that is exactly what they did with this update. And if you look at it, that display is off. It was on earlier. It just took a couple of minutes and then it turned off. And it is not detecting me sitting on the back because I'm on the very, very edge of the seat here. So it detects the seat control if somebody's sitting there and then it turns it off. They also added a couple of new UI items. They also added a couple of new features, and it's also a larger screen, less bezels, larger air vent. So they incorporated some of those feedbacks that we have in the past. But those two feedback, the main two feedback, the child lock and the presence sensor, that was huge that they upgraded in a relatively very, very short time, and super excited to show you what it has. So this company, Test Studio, looks like they are based in California. They've got some couple of Google reviews. They have a real phone number that you can reach out to. I'm gonna list that phone number here in the screen. They also offer installation services. So if you are in the California area, I forgot what city they are in, they also help you install this product. So if you want to reach out to them for installation services, then they're available for that as well. If you use my discount code ShivaTesla, you should be able to knock off some cost from any of the product on their website. Let's begin with the installation, and then I'm going to show you what this display has to offer. All right, let's do a quick unboxing and show you all the components. So this is the screen itself. It's a very large screen compared to some of the previous ones we have seen. And of course, you can adjust this air vent here. And these are very large air vent, probably the largest air vent we have had. There are two USB-Cs here, one for data, one for charging, and it has just got the air vent built in already. Everything is connected already, so we don't have to do none of that, which is great. There's only one input. So that is the display itself. Again, everything is preloaded, pre-connected. The installation is gonna be super easy. Next, we're gonna talk about all the wiring and everything they send with the kit. First of all, they send you a standard pry tool, which is great. And then this one is a USB-C adapter. We must include this on the installation where we gotta put this USB-C port and cap off the existing USB-C in the back console. I'll show you where to do that. If you don't do this, or if you skip this step, your front USB-C as well as the wireless charger is not gonna work. So very, very important, and I'll show you during the installation process. Then they send you basically two different type of wiring. And this is where they are different than everybody else that I have seen, is they actually send you both wiring. This is not for the Intel versus AMD, you still have to choose that, but this is for those cars with and without the blue USB port in the back. So for those cars that you have the blue USB-C port in the back. Most of those cars have it after 2021. There's going to be that blue OBD port that we have seen, we have tapped multiple times. This is the wiring that we are going to use. Essentially, this just creates a Y connector on the rear OBD port. We have done that a lot of times. And then this is for your seat control module, so it goes towards the right for the seat. And this is the seat massage module for the driver's seat. If your car has it, and your cars don't have it, so you don't have to worry about that. But this is for the seat control. That leaves us with just two plugs here. This one that plugs into the actual display, and I believe this is the one that they plan on using it for future software update. I don't think this needs to be connected, but I'll let you know here in just a second. Then this is the one where if you don't have that blue OBD port in the back, you're going to be using this, where you connect it to the front. So you connect this to the A pillar in the front, plug this in the A pillar, and you're going to use this as a 12-volt Y connector for the A pillar in the front. We have done this multiple times with different accessory, and that's what we're going to do. And the rest is just pretty standard, exactly like the other plug. So this is only if you don't have the blue OBD in the back. So first step on this process is we're going to remove this top air vent here, and yours is not going to look like this because I've got a cup holder. This is a pretty sweet product here, cup holder, but basically we just have to grab it from the edge and then remove this unit, and this entire unit just comes out, and there's just this one USB-C connection that we got to remove. Now for the newer cars with the USB-C here, you're going to see this plate where all you have to do is just lift up on this plate here, and then while holding this up, you can just pull this out and then it comes out. Now, if you have a unit with a USB-A here, then there's going to be a little button that you have to pinch in the middle, and while holding it down, you just pull that out and then it comes out. Basically, what you do is take the pry tool that they sent with the kit and then pry open this area in the back. And it's a super simple panel. As you see, it just comes right out, and you just remove this here and you expose this blue plug. So after you remove this top panel as well as the bottom panel there, all we're gonna do is first cap this off and just use that piece as I told you earlier. It's a very important piece, and we're just going to cap this off. What this allows us to do is power the front stuff, the wireless charger and everything, but we are not going to need this wiring anymore. So we're just going to hide that wiring, and now we're going to work off of this wire harness. Before we connect the OBD plug and the seat control, let's pass these two cables up. These are the two plugs that we need to pass it up, and two ways of doing it. One is simply find an opening from the bottom and slide this up. There's plenty of openings from here that we can push this up and grab it from the top. Or if you want to make your life a little bit more easier, you can also remove this panel. There are two Torx 20 screws that you can undo, and then you are able to pass this. We have done a lot of videos, so for more detailed videos, please refer to those videos from the past where we go detailed step by step on removing that screw as well. But it's a pretty straightforward, self-explanatory process. So we are just going to be sliding ours from here and then grabbing it from the top. So I can already feel it, the wiring and everything coming through. So we just need to find where is it at, and then just pull it from the top. As you can see, it's already coming through. So we should have no issues putting this out. There you go. Now there are just a few cables left. So this top ones we routed already. This is what we're gonna make a connection with the screen. And towards the bottom, we have got the OBD plug. We're going to connect the OBD there. And then we have got two more plugs here, setup plugs. This one, the thick one, we are going to be routing towards the passenger side seat from the bottom. I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Basically route it all the way through there and then make that connection in the side. And then for this one, we can route this towards the driver's side here and then make that connection on the driver's side seat. But again, if yours does not have a lumbar support like most new cars don't, this is not gonna do anything for you. So you can skip that altogether, but this one is needed for the seat control. And if you don't want the seat control, then you can skip this step as well. So let me show you how to do the seat control module now how to route it and make the connection. And for this one, we're going to route it through there, through the underneath the seat, go from here all the way towards the right, and then we'll go out and then install that. I've done this so many times. There are a lot of videos in the description below for more detailed installation. After you have routed the cable through inside and you have the plug kind of over here, there are two different options that you can go about this. If you don't mind, working on a tight space, you can also kind of pinch this in, and that's the plug that you need to reach. So that's the plug that we got to reach from here, and there's space. If you just, again, this is a tedious space and you can reach from here. That's one way. Another way is if you bend down over here and look, there is a screw right here. If you remove that screw, this whole panel kind of comes out, and then you can install the seat control button there. So those are the two different ways you can install this. I typically just go through here because there is a little bit of space. As you see, I can prop this out and then get to that plug. So I have another bypass here, as you can see, so I can show you this a little bit better. Take this plug from the central console, route it all the way underneath the seat over here. And what you do is there's a male and female. There is a female port on the seat that is facing like this way. So it's facing towards the left over here. Then what you do is you unplug the male side. So it would normally be kind of flip-flop here. So this would be facing this way. So you unplug it first, then you take the male side off the Tesla's connector and then plug it onto this female of the new harness. So you take that, you plug it in. Then you take the male end of the new harness and then you plug it into the Tesla connector there. But the space is so tight and I can't show you there. That's why I wanted to show you with this extension here. And then so essentially you're just plugging it in like that, and then it plugs into its place and you're good. That's the whole bypass. Here we have got other products already connected. So we're just going to do one more product using daisy chain method. So we're just going to daisy chain this plug here as well. And to do that, all we have to do is push in this middle tab, and while holding this down, pull the connector out, and then push this male connector here, clicks into its place, then take this connector from here and then make a complete connection. This way, we have got a lot of products that connected together here. Now, if you look at it, we have got daisy chain, two different products with the Tesla's connector to make it a complete circuit. If you don't have that blue OBD plug in the back central console, they also send you this wiring harness that works for the front console. And again, this is only if you don't have that back console. Most cars already have it. So if you open that back and you don't see one, then you're going to use this method. Now for that connection, you're going to want to remove this panel by using a pry tool. When you remove this, you're going to expose a plastic fastener right about here, where you're going to remove that as well. And when you remove that, you can remove this entire bottom footwell panel altogether. When you expose the wiring, you're going to see a blue OBD plug there. You're going to take this male end of the new plug and plug it into that blue OBD port. Then right next to it, you're going to see the power panel, which you're going to remove the power plug by using the same method, pinching in the middle, removing it, and then you're going to bypass that power connection using the connection that is provided with the new wiring harness. All right, now we just need to make these two connections. We already connected the OBD, we already connected the seat control and everything. We just have these two plugs here, and I lied earlier, we actually need this plug too. So we actually need both of these plugs, because if we look at the screen here, that plug is also going to be utilized right here. So the white plug goes here, and then the black plug connects to this. So let's just start with the white plug. We're going to take this white plug and simply install it into this port that you see here. Now let's take this plug next, connect it together, and we should see some power come through. There you go. We see some power, so we are good to go. So now this final step just involves us aligning this display, making sure that there are no obstructions on the way, and figuring out where this can go. As you see, we can align this and make sure it clicks into its place and then goes in well. All right, so we finished installing the screen, and there are a couple of things that jump out to me right away. First is the screen size. The largest screen we have reviewed in the past was 7.5 inch. This is 8.66 inch. So they added a little bit more than an inch to this screen to make it larger. And you can kind of tell just looking at this here how big the screen is. They even integrated the air vent in a very clever way. And it is a large air vent. That's another thing that jumps out to me, is that this screen is actually taking up the entire space that the cover would normally take in the back with the air vent. And these air vents are sticking out just a little bit towards the bottom without taking much real estate, without making it awkward. They integrated this seamlessly here to fit the air vent outside of the screen space so that they could make this screen really big. In the past, we used to see just a little air vent like that in the back, and now if you look at it, these are very, very large air vent, and you can adjust this. Just keep in mind, you can only adjust this right and left. You can't adjust this up and down. This is a fixed axis adjustment, but these are super large screen, and the air vents are facing towards the passenger here, so I don't think that is a deal breaker, but just keep that in mind. Another thing that stands out to me are the bezel sizes. If you look at it, the top and bottom, they made the bezel size very narrow, which is definitely headed in the right direction. The left and right still needs some work because these are pretty wide still, and I hope that they can narrow this down in future iteration, but they're definitely headed in the right direction because the last one that we reviewed a couple of weeks ago had the wild bezel size that were very, very large here. So they are incorporating some of the feedback that we have given to them in the past. The screen itself is a big upgrade on the graphics and the UI compared to some of the things that we have seen in the past, but it's still not to the level that I would expect Tesla quality graphics. This is nowhere near Tesla's type graphics, so hopefully they continue to incorporate that feedback and make the graphics better. It's amazing hardware. They just need to catch up on the software just a little bit. This is pretty similar to what we have seen in the past, and if we look at it here, you can adjust the airflow, you can toggle this on and off, you can also adjust the temperature, and this is in Fahrenheit by default. You can also change it to Celsius. You can do all kinds of stuff here, and the visual actually updates with the airflow, so it is an integrated visual there. One thing that we didn't have in the past was right now, the airflow, the animation is popping up, but I don't get the airflow here because the reason is the front airflow is not turned on. And for this whole thing to work, the front airflow first needs to be turned on the Tesla screen, and then you are able to toggle it here. Until now, though, because they put this button right here where it says keep, and if I was to press on this button, it turns on the airflow even if the front one is not toggled. All you have to do is hit on keep, and you will start seeing the airflow. Even if you don't have the airflow turned on in the front, you are able to toggle the airflow in the back using just this keep button. So get out of that, turn this off, but you still have the airflow going towards the front because remember, it toggles the airflow for the entire car. Another big thing that they added here is if you press and hold on the edge, they now added more configuration for how you want your home page to look like, and they got 50 some configurations. Still look very wild like an older generation car, but let's say if I wanted to select this, you have that. It shows the calendar, the FM, the navigation. So if I go there, it takes me to Google app. You can go through all of this, and so at least gives it a different look. This is I think, again, headed in the right direction. They're making this more customizable. You can go through the Bluetooth settings. You can see some of that info. And again, if I were to press and hold, I can go through and toggle through different options. There is home. There is a bunch of stuff that you can toggle through, which is great. Again, customizable, more stuff that is coming out. If you just want this, you can go through setting, and these are clickable, right? Like it's not just some tiles that are sitting in the middle. These are clickable, and it works really well. So that is what we have here, and that's the big change compared to what we had in the past. And let's go back to home 52, which is our climate home here. So they added that as well. Another thing that they added, and this is based on my direct feedback from the last video that I made about a similar display. I talked about two things that I wanted on a display. One was a child lock, where I wanted some kind of a password protected lock, where if you put that lock, children in the back won't be able to toggle through anything. And they listen and they incorporated that. So if I look at the child lock here, right now I'm able to adjust this. I can go up and down. I can turn on any of the climate and stuff. But if I put the child lock, now it says child lock has been opened. and this is frozen essentially. So like I can't adjust any of the climate. So if you want to set the climate and freeze it, you're able to do that now with the child lock. And if you press here, it asks for a password. So the default password is 8687, and I believe you're able to change that through the settings. But that is really great. Now I'm able to adjust some of the settings, but having that child lock gives us an extra security so that if you have a child in the back, they won't be able to mess with it, especially if there is someone in the child seat. I had a child in the child seat with one of the lock, and she was like messing with the screen using her toe from the child seat. So this actually prevents that, which is really nice. Now moving on to the next menu icon here. This is the seat heating menu, and you're able to just toggle the seat heating. You can not only now toggle the rear ones, which is, we have seen that standard in the past. Now you're also able to toggle the front one. I don't know how helpful that is, but if you want somebody to just turn on the seat heating for you from the back without you touching the screen in the front, I guess that would be pretty useful. But the functionality exists there. Now you're able to toggle that, and you can always use this close all button to turn off all the seat heatings in the back. So that's pretty good that they still kept the seat heating option, which has been a pretty popular feature here. Now going to the next one. This is where they added a glove box opener here. So if you want to just press on there, the glove box open, and then this is your seat control. There's the massage control, as well as this is the seat control where you can push the seat up and you see the chair is going up, back. You can do the recline, and you can do recline back. So that feature, we know that it existed before, and this looks very much familiar, and it's great. It works well. So that's what it is. Going to the next icon here. This is for the music. So basically the music for the entire car, right? Whatever is playing in the front, you can play, pause, go next. You can increase and decrease the volume from the back here. So if I were to press on the other icon, this is where you see all the menu icon. You can see the car info, the settings, offline videos and music you wanna load to this device. There's file manager, Google Chrome, Play Store. This is everything that you can see on the menu icon here. Going to this last one, this is for the entertainment. This is where there is Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, Disney. Don't bother with Disney. This is not going to work. I mean, it doesn't even want to load if you look at it, right? Netflix, YouTube, TikTok works great. If you see, it goes to that icon there. So that is great. It works, but Disney, I don't know why. I haven't been able to figure this out with any of the displays really, because it says it works. They load you an APK and it does not work. Disney figures it out because this is not a Google certified device. So Disney Plus probably is not going to work for you, but the rest of the stuff works great. And then finally, you have got the car settings. And there is one important setting here that I want to discuss right here. First of all, it is the temperature setting, which is super easy to adjust now from Celsius to Fahrenheit, and then the time format. That has been an issue in the past, not being able to change that. But the most important one, this is another feedback that they incorporated and they highlighted when they reached out to me was, hey Shiva, like I heard you complain about this in your last video. We want to make it right. So they incorporated this rear seat sensor. And if you scroll down from here on the top, this is where you can go to car setting. This is where you can set up the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth. And if we go to Bluetooth here, it's pretty quick. It identifies a lot of this Bluetooth here. And you can connect one headphone at a time, or you can also do one headphone and one gaming controller at the same time and play games while listening here. It also has a built-in speakers in the back, or you can connect to the Tesla. If you connect the audio to the Tesla, there is going to be an audio lag. Just warning you right now. Headphones, not so much. This built-in speaker, not so much. But if you connect the audio to Tesla, there is a little bit of a lag, and that is just a problem that I don't think we can fix any day now. Then there is also the brightness. You can have the day night wallpaper screensaver. There is a screensaver option where there is like the date and a clock in a dark format that can just come as a screensaver after certain specified timeline here. There's car setting. This has a lot of settings. They are not active today, like this car setting, like handbrake detection. They're not active today, and I hope that they are working on it to make some of this active and keep adding more features. But there's factory setup, and yeah, that concludes the entire walkthrough of this display. All right, here's my verdict. Great product. It is definitely headed in the right direction. I like the screen size. I like the large air vent. I love that they incorporated the child lock as well as the presence sensor as well as larger air vents, and just the overall flow of the display looks really good. So that's definitely headed in the right direction. I think they need to work on the graphics and some of the settings. I think they are still lacking as for the Tesla standard, as long as they make that better and continuously make that better. And I think they can do that just through software update. I don't think they have to sell you another display. I think they can work through that through software update and make it work. A couple of new features they can probably add. And again, working on the UI and the graphic, I think that is huge. Also make it 4G compatible. I didn't see any SIM card or anything there. This is probably one of the best screens that we have, largest for sure. There was probably one more that has a higher quality graphic, but this one is really good overall screen. The installation was super easy and everything is, again, headed in the right direction, and I look forward to seeing what they can do with the future iterations. Thank you very much for watching this video. As always, please let me know your feedback in the comment section, your likes, dislikes, your feature requests, anything that you would like this manufacturer test studio to add more stuff in the future. Please let me know in the comment section. They are monitoring the comment section. I'll pass these comments along, and this is the first time I am working with them to bring one of their products out, and so far they're doing great. So hopefully they continue to make those upgrades and make those changes that we request through the software update, and they keep it up to date. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting our channel. If you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and come back again for another Tesla accessory.